Guys, in yesterday's video report, I told you that both of the bowl games, the Cotton Bowl clash between Oklahoma State and Missouri and the Orange Bowl game between Clemson and Ohio State, really could go either way, and I thought they'd both go down to the wire. And that's exactly how it pretty much played out. And guys, I got to tell you, today's NFL wildcard games, New Orleans and Philadelphia, along with your early game between Kansas City and Indianapolis, I think we've got the same predicament here. And I'm going to break down both of those games in depth, in detail for you in just a moment. And FYI, as you know, after giving you that winner on Missouri yesterday, I'm on a 37-19 run with my free football selections. Hi, everyone. Al DeMarco here. And this, of course, is going to be your Saturday video report. Listen, I've also got a college basketball play I'm going to give you as well. The Big Five showdown at the Cluster in Philadelphia between LaSalle and the University of Penn Quakers. But first, let's talk about who's hot and who's not. And as usual, it seems like I always am, I'm starting off with Shawn Michaels, and why the hell not? Yesterday, yet another 100-dime winner as he improved to 14-3 this year with college football 100-dime side selections as he delivered with Missouri's outright upset of Oklahoma State. That was on the heels of his New Year's Day winner, South Carolina, the outright upset of Wisconsin. 14-3 with those 100-dime college football side selections this year. But now we're talking the NFL. And today, not only is he going for winning day number 78 out of 114, but today, 100-dime playoff opening game of the year, New Orleans and Philadelphia, the late game, 44-20 with 100-dime NFL selections over the past 4+ seasons, including the Colts. Minus 11.5 by 20 over Jacksonville last Sunday. This play is just as strong. Bottom line, as I always tell you with Shawn Michaels, he is not an everyday handicapper. He only releases plays when he's personally involved in the games himself. Over the past 7 months, he's had a total of 114 plays. He's gone 115 plays, excuse me. He's gone 77, 36-2, 77 wins, 36 losses, 2 pushes. As you know, wins minus losses minus the vig have produced over 2,700 dimes of net profit, which means a $10 better has won over 27 grand in that span. So that's what Shawn Michaels has going for himself today. Hey, listen, guys, FYI, remember this being Saturday, every single Saturday for the past couple of years, I've given you a money-saving discount coupon code that could save you potentially hundreds of dollars off your total purchase price. And no different today. That code is going to be 23%, 23, and then the word percent, no space between them, 23%. That will save you 23% off your total purchase price. Now, the only stipulation for this coupon, which is good for anything at the site, is that you've got to put everything in your shopping cart at one time. So you can't come in and buy somebody's play early and then 5 hours later come in and buy Shawn Michaels' 100-dime release. You've got to put everything in your shopping cart at one time in order to use that coupon and to maximize your savings. And I always do it on Saturday because, as I've told you before, about 80-85% of you out there that are current customers at the site are involved in long-term packages. This allows you to maximize your discounts. It also, of course, means you can use your instant rebates if they're applicable as well to save even more. Again, 23% will save you 23% off your total purchase price. If you ever have any questions, just contact customer service. If Shawn Michaels doesn't happen to be at the site that you happen to be watching this video to report today, contact customer service. They'll point you in the right direction. Also, speaking of the Saints Eagles, let's talk about Scott Delaney, his wild card total of the year tonight. You got his NFL total of the year winner last Sunday, the Rams Seahawks under. Well, today you can save $75 and get his wild card total of the year by simply using coupon code SCOTT75, SCOTT75. $10 bettors are up over $6,200 in all sports over the past 8 weeks following Scott's betting advice. Believe it or not, guys, there's a bowl game today. I don't know who the hell cares about it, but there is a bowl game today. Vanderbilt against Houston. Brett Atkins going for his 7th consecutive bowl winner. It's his 100-dime bowl game of the year, part number 2, the Houston Vanderbilt side, and you can get it as today's half-price play of the day. Half-price play of the day selections now 6-0-1 the past couple of weeks because Brett Atkins was the half-price play of the day yesterday when you got his Orange Bowl winner with Clemson getting the job done. Again, his 7th consecutive bowl winner, his 3rd 100-dime max wager release winner in 3 days, and you can get it today for half price simply by using the coupon code HALF. 100-dime winner last night on Clemson. 100-dime bowl total of the year, which you got for $9.95 on Thursday night. Alabama and Oklahoma over the posted price. That's going for Brett Atkins. And FYI, I checked before doing the video report. Brad Wilton, who has made $1 bettors over $7,200 since July. He has a play that matches his biggest ever in football, or any sport actually. 150-dime release, 150-dime college winner, number 5 out of 6. He is on the Houston Vanderbilt side as well. Both Wilton and Atkins have the same side in the contest. So I don't know if I was you, but, if you can get Brett Atkins for half price, why would you buy Brad Wilton? You see what I mean here, guys? Or if you happen to have a package for one, you now know who the other one has. I try to pass this on to you whenever I can. Anyway, hit 150-dime play last Saturday. Louisville crushing Miami of Florida, and it's over 2 times bigger than a 60-dime winner last night, the Orange Bowl total. Clemson, Ohio State over, which you got for just $9.95 yesterday. Let's see. As for me, did I blow that yesterday? I give you Missouri as the free pick, and then I go ahead and bet on Ohio State. Not one of my brightest moves. I'm going to break down these games for you in just a moment here today, guys. But listen, I got to be honest with you. I think these games could go either way, and I'm going to tell you why in just a second. I think the best bet today is in basketball. So my strategy today, I have a 15-dime play, which matches the biggest play in my career in basketball. I'm 3-0 with those plays already this season in college basketball. And so 2 o'clock early tip-off at the Carrier Dome between Syracuse making its ACC debut against last year's ACC regular season champion, Miami of Florida. And FYI, if you want to play, you can save $70 using it. The coupon code is DeMarco70, DeMarco70. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to see if I win that game. And then I'm going to put some money on the Eagles and Saints tonight, and I'm going to tell you why now. Listen, the Eagles-Saints contest, I know the Eagles are the 2.5-point favorite in this guy, and you're looking at a guy who grew up as an Eagles fan, okay? But you know how much money I made going on or against the Saints this season. But Jesus, how could you not make money going on or against the Saints this season? 7-0-1 against the spread at home, 1-7 ATS on the road. I mean, you didn't have to be a rocket scientist here. Please, I'm not patting myself on the back, okay? This wasn't, requiring an MIT degree. But here tonight, I don't care that they're going to play in sub-freezing temperatures. I don't care that the Saints are 0-5 lifetime in playoff road games. I don't care that they only average 18 points a game on the road this season with 12 turnovers, going 3-5 straight up, 1-7 against the spread. I don't care that the Eagles, after losing 10 straight home games, won 4 in a row to close the season at Lincoln Financial Field, because I think the Saints are still the better team. They are the playoff veteran team. They are the more savvy team. Chip Kelly, phenomenal year. And again, as a lifelong Eagles fan, I'm not happy that Chip Kelly replaced Andy Reid, okay, or succeeded Andy Reid. But Sean Payton, this is not his first rodeo, guys. From a technical standpoint, I'm watching the Dallas game last week. Did you see the Eagles, any of their defensive linemen, any of their linebackers, anybody on that pass rush get a hand on Kyle Orton? No. I mean, Kyle Orton shredded that secondary last week, just like Matt Castle did a couple weeks ago when they went to Minnesota and got crushed, giving up, 48 points in that game. Okay, the Eagles' pass rush is not that good. 20th in the league this year, only 37 sacks. You are not going to be able to put the pressure on Drew Brees here tonight, okay? Meanwhile, Brees is going to pick apart the absolute worst pass defense in the league. Listen, the Eagles' secondary, the safeties are awful, just awful. I mean, Patrick Chung, you saw how he let Dez Bryant go right by him. I don't care that was a blown coverage. Nobody was back there giving him deep support. He has been awful all season long. He wouldn't even been playing if a rookie, Earl Wolf, hadn't hurt his knee a few weeks ago, okay? Nate Allen, he's been a bust for the Eagles ever since they spent a high draft pick on him a few years ago. Now, where are they going to be able to stop the Saints receivers? Okay? Biggest problem, I think, though, for the Eagles defensively here is stopping Jimmy Graham. They couldn't get a handle on Mark Witten last week. Michael Kendricks, the speedy linebacker, second-year pro for the Eagles, he's had a good year. And his primary responsibility is going to be covering the tight end coming out on pass routes, okay? He's small. He's got speed. But you're talking about Jimmy Graham, the best tight end in the business. Antonio Gates shredded the Eagles earlier this season at home when the Chargers came calling. Witten did it last week in Dallas. I think Graham's going to have the big game here. I think that The Saints, it's not going to be particularly a high-scoring game, but I think the Saints are going to win this game, so I like them plus the 2.5. As I told you yesterday with Missouri, that line crosses 3, 4, 7, sometimes 10. You got to buy the half point. That's always been my betting philosophy. Same thing goes. Told you to do it with Missouri last night. Hey, it didn't come into play, but you felt better with it, didn't it? I think the same thing today. You go ahead, you have the Saints at 2.5, you buy them up to 3, and you never look back, and there you go. I like them in this particular contest. And of course, you remember last Sunday at home, Saints were my 15-dime best bet, and they won over Tampa Bay 42-17. First game, Kansas City, Indianapolis. Whew. I'll tell you, I don't know what to make of this game. Never been a fan of Andy Reid. Again, going back to my bias as an Eagles fan, especially Andy Reid in the playoffs. But listen, you had the Chiefs, we all know, at Arrowhead a couple of weeks back. They jumped out to the 7-point lead as a 7-point favorite and then just got destroyed by the Colts 23-7. Andrew Luck in that game wasn't phenomenal. 26 for 37. He was efficient, but 241 yards, only one touchdown. Kansas City gave that game away, though, guys. They had 6 fumbles in that contest. They lost 3 of them. They turned the ball over 4 times in all. You can't turn the ball over 4 times and expect to win in the NFL or college football. Yes, I grant you that Kansas City only won 2 of its final 7 games after a 9-0 start. But, 2 of those games were against the Chargers. 2 of those games were against the Broncos. Let's not, fault them too much here. The key in this contest, to me, is still going to be Jamaal Charles. Listen, Charles had 13 rushes, 106 yards in the first meeting, 5 catches, 38 yards. And they had to really ignore the ground game once they fell down early in that contest to the Colts a couple of weeks back. You don't realize, Charles, because he got the rest, as did 20 of the 22 starters last week in that meaningless game at San Diego that the Chiefs didn't win but could have won, if not perhaps for the referee screw-up. He's rested, ran for over 1,200 yards. Unless you're in fantasy leagues, you probably don't even realize Jamaal Charles had over 70 catches this year, or 70 catches, 693 yards as well. Colts can't run the ball, okay? Colts have a decent pass rush. They got to Alex Smith 5 times the first meeting. Robert Mathis led the NFL in sacks this season, 19.5 sacks. I still, however, even though Kansas City's 11 wins this year, 10 of them came against teams that were 500 or less, I still think Kansas City is going to be able to win this game because of a heavy dose of Jamaal Charles running and finding plenty of running room against a Colts defense that's ranked 26 against the run. You run the ball effectively against the Colts. Alex Smith is all the more effective a quarterback because then he's got play action. I think the Colts go down here. I know Indianapolis is a tough place to play. I know how they play inspired ball for Coach Pagano. I'm sorry, I really think the Chiefs are the play in this game. Would I bet the game? Absolutely not. That's why it's a free pick. The Saints, on the other hand, I would if I won the early game. Now, college basketball tonight. You've got at the Palestra in Philadelphia, one of the greatest places to watch college basketball in the country. As far as I'm concerned, it's right up there with the Pit in Albuquerque. It's right there with the Hinkle Fieldhouse out Indianapolis. LaSalle is a 5.5-point favorite in this contest against Penn. It was 4.5 overnight. It's 5.5 now. I like the Explorers minus the 5.5 in this contest. Now, I am a little bit concerned that they last played December 22nd, so they have had quite a substantial break. In that game, they got hammered at Miami, Florida, 71-58, shooting just 38% from the field, only hitting 7 of 18 threes. But this is still the better team. I know it's a city series clash. That's what they call it in Philly, a Big 5 game. But listen, Penn's lost 5 in a row and 8 of 10 this season. Their only wins this year came against Monmouth and Niagara. LaSalle is not as good as last year's team that made the Sweet 16 run, but they're still far more talented and much better than a 5.5-point favorite in this one. Plus, one of Penn's top players, the freshman, I think he's a freshman, he's 6'11", Darian Nelson Henry, who was averaging like 13 points a game, he's still out because of concussion. So a team that just committed 15 turnovers and a 3-point loss to George Mason on Thursday night, a game that they actually trailed by like 10, 11 points with a few minutes to go. It was kind of a deceptive final score, a team that's 2-9 on the season. They're not getting my love today in the Big 5, so I'm going to go with LaSalle as your final free pick in that one. Good luck, guys, and I'll catch you again on Sunday when I think the NFL card is much, much stronger with those 2 wild games, and we'll talk about them then.